It's that time of day again. It's that time of the week where I bring you some of my yummy, easy meals that I cook for my family. And just like last week, I'm going to cook from this great little booklet. And if you would like a digital copy, leave me your details below or private message me and I will send you one of these. So we're making our way through these recipes in Josie's kitchen at the moment. Last week we cooked our healthy pizza. This week we're cooking this one, which is the spaghetti. Mum's spaghetti Bolognese. Now, if you've been following me on Josie's kitchen, you'll know that I have actually done a Bolognese sauce once before. Now, it is very similar to this, but we call it Enzo sauce. And Enzo is a fellow I've never met. He's an Italian who I know through friends, and this is his recipe, a true Italian sauce, and we never buy pasta sauce again. So I actually think his recipe is a little bit easier. Similar ingredients, so we've got the carrots, we've got the celery. In the recipe in this booklet, it says chop it up all fine and stick it in the pan. Well, in my recipe, you just chop it up really roughly, stick it in the pan, and then we use our stick blender. So as you can see here with these carrots, I haven't even peeled them. Just wash them, chop them on up, get all that goodness from the carrot's skin as well. Same with the celery. Wash the celery. If there's a few leaves, put the leaves in because they're full of flavour. It's fantastic. I wanted to show you how I do the garlic. You know, normally I have garlic pre-crushed. If you have fresh garlic, which is really good for this sauce, a good way to get the skin off here, if you want to come on over, is you actually bang it like that. And look at that. Look how easy it is to then peel the skin off. And once you've done that, you just chop it up. And again, you can chop it up really roughly because we're going to use the stick blender. While we're in this part of the kitchen, I'll also talk to you about the bone broth. So we have in this recipe, we have half a cup of water. I always do at least double any spaghetti recipe because I stick some in the freezer for another day. I mean, you're already doing it, so adding in a few extra carrots, a few extra sticks of celery and things, it just makes sense, doesn't it? So with the bone broth, rather than the water, I use bone broth. Now, bone broth is something you've probably heard a little bit about. You can make your own, actually, over a long process, and it's basically a collection of bones, different vegetables, whatever you want to put into it. But the important thing is you know what you're putting into it. Organic bones are the best. This is beef broth. Part of the reason that it's so popular is it's condensed nutrition, highly nutritious, full of calcium, full of magnesium. The collagen breaks down to that you get out of the bones, the marrow and things, amino acids and proteins for your body. So there's so much goodness in bone broth. Why not chuck some in your spaghetti sauce, I think. The other thing I like to do, which my family don't even realise I've done, instead of using beef mince, I use turkey mince. Because turkey mince is has so much less fat. Can't even tell the difference. No one in my family has been able to tell the difference. I think this week these were on special, 2 for $10. So how good is that? They're high in B12 and they're high in zinc. So that's my turkey breast. So they're my little tips and tricks. Come on over to where I've started already. And you'll see here that I've got my onion going. Now there's 2 reasons I get it going. It's because I like to have it sweat down and translucent like this, just to save in the filming time. But also I don't want you to see me crying on video because my gosh, these onions had some sharp old you know, aromas to them. So I put in my celery, I put in my onion, I'll just give that a little whisk around, and then it's as easy as putting in all the other ingredients. I'll just let that have a warm up. I'll grab my bone broth. Oh, I forgot to mention too, guys, that those of you doing my nutritional cleansing program, if you want to decrease the carbs that you're having, this is what I love to have. Not only does it taste great, you can have spaghetti. We don't limit carbs completely on this program, but zucchini spaghetti is delicious, so that's what I like to have. Just throwing in those veggies, guys. Get them in there. This too is a great way to get the kids to eat veggies. I use this for tacos, I use it for lasagna, nachos, and they're not even aware of the veggies that they're getting. Sometimes even throwing zucchini. So in it goes, and as that onion starts to smell, it smells terrific. Okay. So I hope you made the pizzas from last week. They were a hit in my family. Really, really good. We sat outside and ate them by our pizza oven. Really nice. So now I'm going to throw in the roughly chopped carrots, going everywhere. Roughly chopped carrots, whiz that around. The next thing to do is throw in the tomato paste, because you want to cook that a little bit. You don't want a real raw tomato paste flavour. And this is just a little tip for you, is to put that in first. Like I said, I'm making double quantity. And just 30 seconds or so, just whisk it around like this. Let it cook off. And intensify the flavour. 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Gonna start getting bubbly now. A cup of the bone broth. Well, that's looking good. Actually, that's fairly thick, so I'm going to put all that bone broth in. Great. I love recipes that have little tricks on how to get the maximum amount of nutrition into my family without them even really knowing. Then, of course, we'll add a little bit of salt, because that bone broth is not massively salty. If you're using stock, it will be salty. Some pepper in there as well. And these are the herbs that are great in this mixture. So, oregano. I don't measure things very much, as you can see. Thyme. So a little bit less thyme than oregano. And then a little bit of nutmeg. Not much. And give that a stir. Now, one thing that this recipe in the booklet has is a small amount of, let me get the booklet. So, 2 teaspoons of balsamic glaze. And I have to say, that's not something I've normally put in mine, but it is good to have a bit of sweetness in your spaghetti sauce. And the carrots actually give a lot of sweetness off. But I've got some balsamic glaze in my fridge, so I'm going to put a little bit in. 2 teaspoons. I think that was about 2 teaspoons. What do you reckon? Okay, so we'll move that around. Now I just let that simmer until the carrots are cooked, which maybe that'll take about 12-15 minutes. Then I use my stab blender, which I haven't even got out yet. This is one of my favourite instruments in the kitchen, I'd have to say. This is my stab blender. And I plug it in, stick it in, and make up a pasta sauce. While that is cooking, I'll fry off my turkey in another pan, and then I'll add as much sauce as I need to my turkey paste, and then the rest of it I will freeze for another meal, because we want to maximise our time, don't we? So if you want a copy of this booklet downloaded to your email or to your phone, let me know. I'd love to give it to you, and you too can share in all the amazing recipes that are in here. So have an awesome day. Thanks for joining me on Cook, Love, Share with Josie, and I'll see you next week with another great recipe.